Hello everybody and welcome back to another video that is anti-MLM adjacent. I'm Christine. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to take a look at somebody who for sure was in a network marketing company, but I cannot confirm if she still is to this very day. She still uses the old tactics in my opinion. This person was in iGenius and she sold overpriced access to the crypto network marketing company, a financial literacy platform where you can learn so many things to become the best trader in the world, but in the end it's about recruitment. That was the network marketing company she is in. She might still be in iGenius, but then she's not posting about that. Maybe she still has a team and she tries to let that run out to benefit and to get the commission checks there as well. That could very well be. It could be that she is not in iGenius anymore, but it's a prominent person. I've reacted to her before, and there is an updated version of that as well, because it is scammers' activities, in my opinion, very much based on a following that she was able to get because she was in a network marketing company. Today we're going to take a look at the reality of being a self-made entrepreneur millionaire. I need to pull out my glasses. That's not even the title of this thing. Excuse me. The reality of being a millionaire entrepreneur at 26 years old. Some of you sent me video suggestions and also links to these videos. That is one of those videos. Today we're going to take a look at that. I reacted to her. Her name is Afnan Khalifa, together with Jasmine Elizabeth, who is still in a network marketing company. She was in Monate before, then in iGenius, now she is in pharmacy, and they're connecting to each other, they're combining forces, and in an upcoming video, there will be a new addition to that. They're all venturing into selling courses, master resale rights, but some of these people are still in network marketing, so that's where you might know her from. She also performs in a lot of these fake podcast style, where you hope that you have a quote, an inspirational video, a short bit that might go viral to have more eyes on the prize, to have more eyes on your content, to then sell us something. So we're going to take a look at this video, and then I will explain to you also what she is currently selling. Because, surprise, you might not be aware what she is currently selling just by watching the video. So, 26 years old, entrepreneur, millionaire, let's go.
Everyone wants to see the highlight reel. The Lamborghinis, the designer bags, the first class flights, the I made 6 figures in my sleep post. But what they don't show you is what happens after the cameras start rolling. What happens when you're alone at 3 a.m. questioning everything you've built. What happens when your success feels more like a prison than freedom. Today, I'm gonna tell you the truth about entrepreneurship that no one talks about, the dark side that they don't put on Instagram stories or in motivational quotes. Because if you're thinking about this path, if you're already on it, or if you're wondering why success doesn't feel the way you thought it would, you need to hear this. This isn't about discouraging you. It's about preparing you for the reality that no one else will tell you. Because the truth is, entrepreneurship will expose every weakness you have. It will break you down completely and force you to build yourself from scratch. And if you're not ready for that, you're not ready for this life.
Let's see, that is the introduction, and it sounds very much, oh, whoa, me, I'm so successful, please pity me. Once again, let's not forget, this is somebody who was in a network marketing company, who recruited people into a predatory system, was able to benefit, and is now taking other avenues and other vehicles and routes to make more money. I will get into what she's selling you in a moment, but this is more like the story of woe. And let's see if there are actually secrets. It sounds very clickbaity, very attention grabbing in my opinion, because I'm somewhat sure that we probably have heard all of the alleged secrets before. Many times when people tell you, I have a secret for you, you've probably heard it before when it comes to building a business and being successful and all of that. But let's continue before I judge.
Let me start with the biggest lie they tell you about success. They tell you when you make your first million, it's gonna be the best feeling you've ever encountered in your life. And I was looking forward to that time. I was looking forward to that point. And until I hit it and felt like nothing in my life really changed. I had the freedom, but my confidence was still the same. My anxiety was still the same. My unfaced traumas were still the same. My healing was still the same. everything that have made me suffer in my life is still the same. I just added an extra $1 million to it in my bank. And what the crazier part is, because you have a lot of money now, you have even more time. You're not clocking in and clocking out of a job every single day. So you're not busy. Your friends are working, your family is, busy, but you are not as busy because now you wanted the freedom. Now you got the freedom. So you have more time that will force you to deal with everything life have ever put you through. You start overthinking your past, your relationships, your friendships, your success. And that will put you in a huge loop that honestly only successful people go through because they have the time to go through. I know when I was working 2-3 jobs, going to university, when I was stressed out about money, the last thing I want to think about is how I feel, how this person made me feel, why I reacted this way, why am I a certain way. That was not on my agenda. What I was focused on was making money and grinding, and there was so many distractions. But when I made the money, the distractions got so quiet, and it was just me and everything that I've ever went through that I haven't faced yet. And then on top of that, because now, you've made it to your parents, to your family, to society, now there is all these expectations, especially as a woman, for you to act a certain way, to dress a certain way, to spend a certain way, to shop at certain places, to give people money because you have it. And why are you greedy? And why are you so cheap? To spend on some people maybe that don't deserve you spending on them. And that just all comes with a lot of expectations and pressure that I was not prepared to actually face, because I was the same girl, just with more money.
My first question is, who are they? It's this omnious group of people, they, but we never learn who that is. They expect you now to dress in a certain way, to behave in a certain way. They expect you to be happy now when you make your first million. But that is not the truth. Who are they? This is very inspirational talk and also a prelude, in my opinion, to set her up. When I made my first million, that already alleges that she is successful in whatever she does. So if you want to buy something from her, you should listen to her, because she is really successful, but her financial success wasn't able to set her up for success in the other fields of life. And that is something I actually agree with, because just because you have more money doesn't mean that you cannot have trauma, that you have to go through healing, that you need to work through past trauma. And if you're insecure, you might still be insecure, although you have a lot more money. But all of this is set up in the universe of presenting her as a successful person. And if you move in certain circles, which she for sure does, she surrounds herself, at least what I see on social media, with people who are very similar to her, where she is not at all shy to show her alleged success. The cars she drives, the vacations she has, the first class trips she allegedly takes, the jewelry she wears, the designer outfit she wears, that is part of her brand, to come across as successful and sell people something so that they might want to copy her and buy into the things that she has to sell. She aligns herself with, in my opinion, other scammers like the Jasmine Elizabeths of the world, or people, also a German network marketer who is now with B Club. It's the same kind of people, and it is not exactly people that I think that I would want to align myself with or that I want to be around. Absolutely not. It sounds very superficial. It sounds very predatory. There is not a lot happening below the surface. That is what I think, and that is why you need to present this lavish lifestyle. So the thing I agree with is, yes, just because you make more money doesn't mean that that can buy you happiness, but she has created this lifestyle and this optic and these visions, and how she presents herself before, when she was in iGenius, when she was in network marketing, and she does the same thing now, and she surrounds herself with the same people. And I always find it weird to distinguish between men and women in many cases where it doesn't matter, because when you are successful, and if you're around other successful people who expect you to dress in a certain way, behave in a certain way, show up in a certain way, the same is true for men as well. But because she, in my opinion, is very likely catering to a female-oriented audience, she needs to simmer it down to women. But in the end, it's the same for men as well. In that case, it doesn't make sense to distinguish between men and women. If you're successful, you're expected to look the part. That is also only partially true because I think people who consider themselves new money, they're the ones who want to be flashy, who want to show off their wealth. But if you come from what is considered old money, from people whose families have been successful, who run big corporate companies, or who ran these, who have their hands in the stock and the majority of the stock, and that has been handed down to their children and to their children and their children's children many, many times, those people are not that flashy. There, the luxurious situation is actually to not be detected as super rich, and many times those people also don't put themselves out on social media trying to entice people to buy something from them, because they actually have a thriving business and they have a desired product or a desired service that the people will buy anyway.
And in reality, because I made that money, it also comes with pressure of, oh my God, now I upgraded my bank account. I don't want to downgrade. So I need to keep working hard. I need to keep building my business. And I need to work 10 times harder to make sure I keep the success and make more as I go. Because if I don't, then what's the point of even celebrating this milestone and then going back to the life that I used to live before? So that all comes with pressure. Did I deserve this? Was it luck? Did I earn it? How am I going to make my next million? What's my next steps? Giving family money, giving friends money, making sure I represent the millionaire that I am, live in places that are nice, because now I'm a millionaire and people only will believe it when they see it, not when they hear it. So all these things, honestly, it just adds more pressure to, first of all, we already have pressure as a woman. I already have pressure because I'm an immigrant. I already have pressure because I'm Middle Eastern. I already have pressure because of family, because of my business. Now I have this cultural society pressure to live a certain way because I've made a certain number of money.
Not necessarily. It is because of the choices that she made. I do not like it when people fall into this victim narrative because they were able to make a lot of money because they were able to scam people out of their hard-earned money. And I believe that is the case for her. She was in iGenius. She was able to attract an audience because she pretended that she had this fabulous lifestyle. And that way she was very likely able to make a good amount of money. And then she did something else. She is considered a digital entrepreneur and she chooses to stay in this field. She could have also just taken the money she was able to make from iGenius and do something completely different and stay offline. She chooses to do things in the digital sphere. She's one of those people who is on her Instagram where she has those nonsensical podcast style videos to drop little audio bites to sell you something. I will get into what she's trying to sell you here because she's actually linking it under her content. This is on her YouTube channel where she also has vlog style videos. And when I watch these videos, I always think, who is this for? Am I supposed to feel sorry for you because you are allegedly a successful woman, because you were an immigrant, because you're Middle Eastern? Am I supposed to feel sorry for you because you made allegedly over $3 million, according to the little countdown that we saw there, and now your life is really hard because you don't know what expectations you had to meet, and you're advising people now that it's not all golden when you make a lot of money? Why should I care if I'm not in your shoes? She is not catering to other millionaires, advising them about the potential risks of becoming really successful. But why is she putting this type of content out to people who have a lot less? Why should they care? I believe to be inspirational and to be aspirational. If I can do it, then so can you. And I have a solution for you. And I will link it down below so that you can click on the things that I want to sell you on, and to keep up this idea that she lives this successful lifestyle while showing off the luxurious looking couch with a skyscraper-like apartment with the luscious curtains and the lamp shining a warm light on the entire scenery. All of that, of course, is very staged. And I believe it is to put herself into the position of presenting herself as a successful individual, as the title also points out, to then connect with the people, to sell them something. I do not feel sorry for her. It is hard to feel sorry for somebody who allegedly financially made it and allegedly has all of the resources in the world. I don't know that. I don't know her bank account. And for her, To say, well, if I don't show it, if I don't prove it to you, you don't believe me, that is also something that is self-made. She was in iGenius. She had to pretend that she was that successful because she sold a business opportunity that leaves most people in debt. iGenius, to my knowledge, never had an income disclosure statement. And iGenius, to my knowledge, to this very day doesn't have one. And to my knowledge, iGenius is also a network marketing company that is not doing well either in 2025. So why would they now come out with an income disclosure statement showing us how much people made? But across the board, and according to the FTC, over 99% of people in network marketing companies do not make a profit. They end up in debt. So you need to have this facade and you need to show off your alleged wealth, the cars you rent, the allegedly luxurious trips you have, and all of that is part of branding, and that is a choice. And I guess it is a choice also because I believe that is truthful. She doesn't want to downgrade. She doesn't want to downsize. Once you're used to a certain lifestyle, it is harder to, when you live in a home, to downsize. When you have nice outfits, to downsize. When you go to luxurious food places, to downsize. And I guess that is the core of this, because she needs to sell us something.
So that was the first problem that I faced, is I realized that money does not solve internal problems. It's going to solve all the external problems. And then you're left with all this time to make sure you deal with the internal problems, because now they're even magnified even more. But feeling empty was just the beginning. What comes after was actually harder. You get into the isolation season, losing friends who couldn't relate to your new reality, losing friends that didn't support you along the journey, and then finally you arrive somewhere and then you're like, where are my real friends? Who wants me for really me versus being with me because I've made it, or being with me for the money? That is also true for women as well, not only for men.
And that's why it is not useful to point out, well, for me it's even harder because I'm a woman. No, if you're successful, you do not know if people want to be close to you because they want to financially profit. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, you will both have the same issues. You have the same problems. And that's why it's not smart in many cases to point out this is specific for women. I don't think it is, but I believe that is her target audience, women. And that's why she, in my opinion, needs to specifically position women as victims and also point these things out, because that is the category of people that she is catering to, and she wants to sell them specifically something.
You get the lonely of being the only one that made it in your circle and the only one that gets it. So I've had my friends look at me a different type of way because I've just made their biggest dream. And that was always another pressure that I have to be always on. I always have to be inspiring. I cannot slack. I cannot say the wrong things. I cannot get angry or get mad or get upset because, well, why are you angry? That's not how someone who's successful acts. Why are you calling people out? That's not what a successful person acts. And then I also, on top of that, could not be even upset or mad because my problems were unrelatable to everyone else. People are like, you're just ungrateful. You're just literally a delusional person, because how are you upset about that when people are literally scrapping and working 3-4 jobs every single day to pay their bills? And meanwhile, here you're complaining about this little emotional thing that you went through in your business. Come on. So that also comes with the isolation and the loneliness that I felt during my rise up, especially. It was a lot for a woman to handle all of that success, but with isolation, because that's really when success comes, when you isolate yourself, when you spend the most time focused on your craft, building your business and making sure it's literally the most important thing to get it to the millions of dollars in income.
She is really posing as somebody how she believes successful people are or react. Because who says that to somebody who has a lot of money? You cannot be angry. You cannot call people out. Of course you can. Did anyone really ever say that to a really successful, financially stable person, a multi-millionaire? I have my doubts about that. What she is alluding to here, in my opinion, without wanting to say it or without recognizing it, a lot of the things that she complains about are tone deaf. If you allegedly are financially so stable, then it is difficult for you to complain about certain things and not just talk through business problems you have, or say that, hey, from a personal level, I have problems. I just need to talk to you. And if you do that with an actual friend, then that shouldn't be a topic at all. But to complain about minor things when other people in this day and age are struggling, that is tone deaf. And you simply lack perspective. And that is what a lot of people who are very privileged, who are very fortunate, who were lucky, who are very successful do not see. Your problems compared to others are maybe minor problems. That doesn't mean that your problems are not important and valid for you and possibly the people around you, but you do not need to push this onto social media, like with this video. And that is why allegedly so successful people or celebrities, rich people, complaining about social media as not being perceived well, and people are sick and tired of it. And that is, I guess, the issue she might run into, that people say you're tone deaf. Your problems are really minor and they're really minuscule compared to other people. Maybe don't put that crap out, because she does post a lot of stuff on social media. She has to, because she needs to utilize her social media platform to sell us something. And then in that case, it might be worth to not complain about the most minor things when you have allegedly all of the resources in the world to help yourself. So maybe just keep that offline. That's a tip. And that's yet again not specific to women. It is not that you have it harder because you're a woman. No, it's just tone deaf. If you allegedly have millions to your name, it is tone deaf to complain about certain things when you could just seek help in private, talk to people in private, and not air it on social media. It many times is really that simple.
And now, just when you think you've made it or you figured it all out, that's when the game changes. You as an entrepreneur can never really rest on your success. Because number one, a lot of people get successful and then they lose that success. They become irrelevant because social media is changing. Businesses change. Employees' hearts change. You always got to reinvent the wheel, adapt, see what's working in other companies and other businesses. Be the first to hop on trends. And that always keeps you on edge because you don't want to lose everything that you've built. And you can lose it very quickly if you slack off or if you keep doing the same things over and over. We've seen Blockbuster, right? How they literally lost it all. And now Netflix is the new platform that has innovated, adapted to what people are looking for, something fast, something with so many options, something with a small subscription, but they're making billions and billions of dollars. But they had to always adapt, always get better, always, chase the next best thing so your competition is not going to be ahead of you. And that's how you're going to be feeling as an entrepreneur. There's always blocks along the way that you're going to have to figure out. There's always new things that we can do to grow the business even faster. And if you don't do it, if you slack, if you take a vacation or a break, you literally feel like you're missing out. You feel this, I feel like this total anxiety, like, oh my God, I am going to be so behind if I take a week off, which kind of defeats the purpose of why we even get into entrepreneurship, because we want to have the freedom. But because you get it and then you become very competitive, you want to have the success and then you want to have even more success, because success is never enough. You always want more. You always want the best. So now you're on this another wheel of always figuring things out, and that anxiety of always like, am I gonna ever become irrelevant? Because that will hurt any business owner, any entrepreneur ego when they become irrelevant after being successful.
She is in a very specific field where she's working in the social media space, and she needs social media, so I understand that pressure, but it is tone deaf yet again, and that's why I believe she's posing at what she believes a successful entrepreneur looks like. To claim that you cannot take time off is false. You can also take time off if you don't have people working for you and you successfully work on your own. It has to do with organizing your life, with timing. It has to do with you organizing the time that you want to take off. And if you have employees, of course, also to hand that over. I come from an entrepreneurial household, and I remember very, very well that one family member, for example, started to travel with me into the Easter vacation or into the autumn vacation. I was born and I was raised in West Berlin, and for my parents, it was always important to get out of the city. They felt kind of locked in because there was physical wall around the city, but we were able to travel, and for my parents that was really important. One person, because my parents were running and have ever since I can think ran their own companies and also successfully, one parent took the kid, went to the location, and the other person followed then if they still had meetings and if they still had tasks and projects to do that had to be finished. You can plan these things, and that was before social media, that was before cell phones, that was before the mobile flexibility that we have in this day and age. But if you work on social media and if you work in what I believe is a very sketchy and a very scammy business model, then that might be different. And this feeling of anxiety, I need to do something, I can never stop working, is extremely toxic, and I would advise to actually get over that instead of catering to that. But I guess that comes very likely from her working in a network marketing company before, where you learn you can never stop. You need to work 24/7. Recruit people, the people who fall off, you need to find other people, replacements for these, find customers, turn the customers into new recruits. If customers ghost you, find new customers. It's this never-ending cycle, but that doesn't have anything to do with actual entrepreneurship. You will work a lot when you're an entrepreneur, when you run your own company, but it is false that you cannot take time off to cater to yourself and to your needs. Like she said, it doesn't make sense. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur, an actual entrepreneur? And in my opinion, she is not. I don't count her as such. Then you can create the space and the time for yourself to have more freedom. Not in the beginning, not when you start to build a business, when you start your entrepreneurial route, then you need to work a lot more, absolutely. But you should have that freedom afterwards, especially if you're allegedly so successful.
And then entrepreneurship is the most brutal personal development program you're ever going to go through, because it will literally, number one, as an entrepreneur, you are faced and forced to get better and personally develop every single day, or else it's going to break you. There is literally problems every single day that I am solving. You need to be the person that is such a good problem solver. Employees are going to be complaining, customers are going to be complaining, business problem, tech problem, money problem, bank problem, everything problem. Suddenly, especially if you are in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, you are wearing the hat to literally solve everything in this life. And you're going to have to learn quickly, and you're going to have to adapt, and you're going to have to solve problems without complaining too much. So it is probably the most thing in life that exposes all your insecurities. Now you're gonna have to also look at your weaknesses. What is my weaknesses? I have to face my weaknesses, know them, get better at them, and also hire people that can make my weaknesses way better because they're doing their job and I'm doing my job, which is my strengths. And that also takes a lot of personal development for a person to say, oh, this is what I'm not good at, and I am okay with hiring someone that's gonna tell me how to run this side of this business that I am not good at. Personal growth is very important. Knowing your weakness, you can't hide from it. You need to do yoga, meditate, all these things to not be anxious all the time.
You do not need to do yoga and meditate. Once again, I think she's posing as somebody who she thinks and how she thinks somebody has to act if they're allegedly so successful. You are a problem solver in your everyday life, whether you run your own company, whether you're an employee, whether you have one job or multiple jobs, whether you're a stay-at-home parent and it is your primary job to take care of the home and of the children. You are a problem solver, but you have to be more independent when you run your own company, when you want to run your own business. That doesn't mean that other people cannot relate to that, because everybody is a problem solver and it's a continuous cycle and you have to continue that. When you run your own business, it is good to be aware of your weaknesses, absolutely. And if you have the ability to hire people who have strength that you don't have. That way you can have the perfect or the better picture, because you're good at one thing and that person is good at the other thing. That's why it's also good to consider, do I want all of that pressure? It is like owning property. It is like owning a house, owning an apartment compared to renting it. There are positives and there are negatives for everything. When, let's say you have property, you own a home, and the heater breaks, it is your responsibility to find a company, get them to come over, take a look at the issue. They need to get you a quote. Are you willing to engage in that? Do you have other companies coming over who will give you a quote? Choose the right company. When can they do the job? And you need to pay that bill. You have to be more self-sufficient. Whereas on the other side, when you rent a space, you can call the landlord and they're responsible and they're the ones who have to take care of these things. And the same is true for entrepreneurs versus employees. But you will have your own challenges, and that is something to consider. Are you that self-sufficient? Do you think you can do it? It can also be a lot of fun, but it's not necessarily for everybody. In the real big boy and big girl world, we're not talking about entrepreneurial scammers. We're talking about actual entrepreneurs. And I don't think she is. I'm sure she made a good amount of money because she's conventionally attractive and she's good at speaking. She's good at presenting a certain lifestyle that might be appealing to a lot of especially young women who are easily influenced by social media, who want to follow her footsteps, who want her success. And that's why they're willing to buy into the things that she has to sell.
To not be anxious all the time, to be grateful. And another thing is, no matter what you do, whether it's failure or success, I need to understand that you are a public figure, especially if you are on social media. So everything is 10 times more magnified. If you fail, it's a public failure. If you have success, it's a public success. So whatever you do, relationships, people saying this, it's all in the spotlight. So you gotta be even, way more conscious on what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're running your business every single day.
But it's also a choice to run your business on social media. You can also choose to not do that. Or if you're able to make money on social media, you can invest that money, or you can use that for other business ventures that are not in the public eye when you realize, it's not for me.
And then what nobody really prepared me for was honestly my mental health. If you've ever heard me before, I always said, what is mental health? Just go pray, talk to God, be positive, and everything's gonna be fine. And that's true. I always still talk to God and I'm always very positive. But there is a huge anxiety that comes with the high stakes decisions that you have to take every single day. There's these big decisions that you as an entrepreneur are going to be taking, and you're not going to know if it's the right decision or the wrong decision, but you're going to have to make a decision. And most of the time, it has to be a quick decision. Are we going to go this route? Are we going to do this? Is this a good idea? Everyone in the team, in the company, they're asking you, what do you think? And you're gonna have to make a decision, stand on it, no matter how anxious you are or how unsure you are. And you're just gonna have to execute and sell everyone on the vision, and then hope and pray that the outcome is actually what you expected, if not better. You also have imposter syndrome at every level, because you're like, why are all these people looking up to me? What did I do something that is so different? Because
they're not looking up to you, because if you employ people, your employees, when you're their employer, they expect answers from you. And then you're the one who's in charge. You're the one who has to take the responsibility. You're the one who's to say what route to go. And at some point, when you know what you're doing, that anxiety, also when you're leading a team, when you're an employee, that anxiety will go away. I completely get that with the imposter syndrome, that you think, oh my God, I'm the completely wrong person to answer those questions. But then you recognize, no, actually, I am the right person. I just need to make a decision, and that can be scary. And if you're not made for that, maybe don't become an entrepreneur, maybe don't run your own company, and maybe don't employ people if that is something that you're not good at. If that's not your route, if you're not good at making decisions quickly, or saying, I cannot make that decision right now, I have to take a step back, we will ice this project for the moment and I will get back to you later. You have to find a solution, and that can be awesome. There is an advantage to everything, being an employer and being an employee, but it also comes down to the type of personality that you are. And once you recognize, I'm not getting better at this, yet again, you can change your route, you can change your ways. But if you're stuck, and I believe that she is stuck because she started to make her money publicly on social media when she shilled iGenius, and she continued that route, and she sees her peers who continued to do that route as well, and then you think you cannot go a different way. If you allegedly make so much money, you can take the money, you can stop being on social media, downsize, live a reasonable life, and then consider, what do I do with the money that I made? What other business ventures can I do? That's also an option if you don't want to do that publicly. It is a choice to do these things publicly. She is not a celebrity. She is not a child star. She didn't become famous at a young age, and then that was kind of the route that she had to go with. She is not the child of a family vlogger and was forced to be in front of a camera. She has a choice to just leave social media. She has that choice, especially if she's allegedly so successful.
You're with yourself every single day and you don't see your growth. You don't see your success and your achievements as big as they really are because you're literally with yourself all the time. It's like when you're, with a partner and so on and so forth. Along the way, you're like, they're just a regular person. You stop seeing them as this amazing person that you saw them when you first started dating them. Same thing we feel about ourselves. And then there is, of course, this responsibility and pressure of everyone that works.
Back to the dating stuff, I disagree. Your relationship in a long-term relationship will change and you won't have the butterflies and this feeling of being extremely in love like a teenager and hormones are running rampant in your body. Your relationship will change, but you can still continue to see the person as the most amazing person the way you did when you started. Are we also pretending what a good relationship can look like? Is it pretense, just like this entire video is pretense of what a successful entrepreneur has to do, what is expected? It's a lot of fluff. It's a lot of nothingness. And wait until you learn what she's trying to sell you. Why we're watching all of this.
Everyone that works for you or anyone that buys your product or service, because now you're responsible for their livelihood. Now you're responsible for their success, for them making money or for them having a good experience, a good product. That all comes with so much pressure and anxiety that can affect your mental health if you don't really look after it. And then success will change you. And not everyone will be able to handle that new version of you. It goes from family members that now every single time they talk to you, they're going to mention money because you have the money and, they don't have the money. And I'm not talking about mom, dad, siblings. I'm talking about far family that now they expect you to kind of look after them, pay some of their bills, help them out with a need. And I'm always happy to do that, but that's an extra pressure. And sometimes you feel like, is this family dynamic even real and genuine anymore? Because why am I only being talked to when money is an issue? So that's also something that we have to mention. Friends that somehow just start resenting you because you grew so much. You've made the money. You got out of the rat race. And instead of asking you how you got out of the rat race and asking for advice on how they did it, because their pride and ego looks at you still as the same level as them, they start resenting you, making up lies about you, thinking you're entitled, and just making up stories about you because they only saw the version that was only like them. As soon as you start surpassing them, these wrong friends, not all friends, these wrong friends will feel some type of way because you have exposed that they have not been working, because you have achieved it. You guys come from the same background, same struggle before, but you did something and look where you are. But they didn't, and look where they still are.
To me, this is just this toxic network marketing speak that if you're not successful, it is because you didn't put in the work. As I say in most of my videos, where I have an entire anti-MLM playlist at this point, almost 300 videos, that it's not just about being the hardest worker in the room. But people in network marketing companies need to tell themselves that, and others as well. They can hardly ever admit the timing, looking good, having a social media following, being easy on the eyes, being easy to talk to, and also being comfortable around people doing small talk, pitching them something that will not necessarily set them up for success. All of these things and many more are the reason why people are successful in network marketing companies, and also their connection with other people in the company. Like, I don't know, a brother who is in the same network marketing company and who can very likely help you and support you there as well. Those are things we hardly ever hear, but that's this typical network marketing thing. Well, I put in the work, I was successful. If you didn't put in the work, that's why you're not successful, but then don't speak badly about me.
And then let's talk about relationships. Oh, that's a very deep topic. As soon as a woman start making money, her dating marriage circle is gonna somehow, get smaller. Because now you cannot be with someone that is doing less than you in life. And I'm not talking just about money. Some people can only date up. That's me. But I know a lot of successful women that got with men that make less money than them, but they are amazing at other areas in life that complete that other person. Now, for me, I am just a woman that loves to be led. And my man has to, first of all, has way bigger success than mine, so I can learn from my man in business, and that of course leads to them having better finances than me. And I can feel safe with their financial judgments about so many businesses, and I can trust what they're telling me. If I'm making more money, if my businesses are successful for a very long period of time, not just a season, in my head, whatever you say about finances, it's like, I respect it, but I'm gonna still follow what I have done, because clearly my outcome is bigger than your outcome, and success leaves clues. And I don't ever want to feel like that toward my partner, my man, that is supposed to lead me to places. I want to trust him blindly. And that for me personally comes with a smaller dating pool, but a better one, and a more elite one, to the type of men that I attract and I also plan to marry one day.
That is a very subjective approach, of course, to relationships, but that is also a choice that you make. And I think another way to set her up for presenting herself as a successful individual, because the pool of people to date is getting smaller and smaller, because I'm getting financially so successful and I want somebody who's more successful than me in business so that I can still listen to advice. I think that you do not need to be led in a relationship by either partner, independently of whether you're a man or a woman, that these things can happen on equal terms and each partner has their strength. Your partner and you will very likely never have the same talent and be in the same level when we're talking about the same things. You will very likely have more talent, more strength, more abilities than your partner in some fields, and your partner has more abilities than you, and that can be quite fun, but you can still operate on equal terms. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't want to be led by my partner. I want to be on equal terms, and then we can work through life together and share life together.
So how do you make sure you actually survive this dark side? Here's what I have learned and what have worked for me. Number one, you want to build a very strong support system of people that actually understand you. There's two pathways for this. Number one, keep friends around you, that family and friends that have been with you from the start, that truly understand you and love you for who you are, right? They don't care about your success. They care about your well-being. They genuinely have so much love and admiration for you. And they are there to support you with all the craziness, all the delusion that you're going to be doing, whether it's right and wrong, all the time. These are the people that will understand that your craziness is your vision and it's meant for you, and they're going to support it, whether they see the vision or not. Number two, you want to have entrepreneurial friends. As a woman, I would say men or women that are also in business owners, or they are entrepreneurs that you guys can relate to.
Why does that have to do with being a woman yet again? If you want to be an entrepreneur, it might be beneficial to also have friends or acquaintances that run businesses themselves. Why do we distinguish again between men and women? That doesn't make any sense. Surround yourself with people who are driven as well, who run their own businesses. That can be helpful. Doesn't matter in that case if you're a man or a woman.
You guys are building something so powerful, going maybe through the same struggles and relating to each other, so you can also have that business talk with them, with someone that truly understands, because they're there in the same situation. They're going through the same emotions that you're going through. That probably have helped me so much, because you feel like you're not alone. You're not going crazy because something is wrong with you. It's just part of becoming successful and making a lot of money and being someone that has just a lot of ambitions and want a lot from their life. Now, another thing that you want to also do is you want to create boundaries between your work and your personal life. I sometimes will work 24/7 if I don't truly take time to be like, this is my personal time. I'm shutting my phone off and I'm taking it easy. I'm shutting my brain off. I'm not thinking about my next project. I'm not thinking about the next video I need to shoot. I'm not thinking about the client or the customer or my assistant. I'm just being present with the people I love and taking just a break. You have to be intentional with taking breaks, because that's going to be the fuel for you to pour into your business. So there's work hours and then there is personal life hours, and you have to schedule it, because when you're a one-man show, everything just seems like a part of one thing. You have to separate them to be okay at the end of the day and still be sane. Now, another thing that keeps me grounded is finding hobbies, right? I love to work out and heavy lift. I love to go on walks. I love to, just go to the beach and just tan and, eat nice food. That's like my relaxation. I love to get a massage once a week. And I also listen to podcasts, read books every single day. These are the things that keep me grounded, keep me sane, but also keep me inspired, always learning, always growing to want to achieve more and grow as an entrepreneur. So these are the practices that either keep me grounded, keep me sane, or keep me inspired, always wanting to work harder, always learning, to feel like I'm never stuck. There's always a new level, and there are people that have gone to that level and got to that level, and I can get there too. Now, after everything that I've shared, you're probably like, well, why should I choose this path of none? Please resell me the vision, because you unsold me all the vision right now. Well, I know I said all the dark things about being an entrepreneur, especially as a woman. But if I had to go back in time, I will choose this path over and over again, because you truly get to be in your power as a woman, and you have the freedom of time, money, and location to be anywhere you want. You don't have to wait for someone else to give you the nice experiences in life. I don't have to wait to travel and see nice places, to go to nice restaurants, to buy nice things. I do these things for myself, and if a person comes in my life and gives me everything, then that's a bonus. But I have already experienced these things, not out here chasing people to give me these things. Now, you grow so much and you feel like you truly have a purpose in life. I know you're maybe working longer hours, you're working harder, but the feelings that you get when you accomplish things, not just money, I'm talking about you growing. You look back at a couple years and you're like, I'm a whole different human being. And that is probably the most fulfilling thing about entrepreneurship. Money is great because it's resources, it's freedom, but the purpose that you know that you have the power to get anything in your life, because you did what most people won't do, making millions of dollars, being an entrepreneur, going through all, the demotions an entrepreneur goes through, and becoming the woman that can handle really anything life throws at her. So I did not share this with you to scare you away from entrepreneurship. I shared it because I wish someone have told me the truth before I actually started. The truth, so I'm not shocked when I actually get there. The highlight reels are real. The success, the freedom, the impact, the money, the amazing life, it's all real.
Is it? Are you sure about that? Coming from somebody who came from an industry where you had to pretend that you were successful, or sell people on other people's success because you need to pretend you're successful to sell people sketchy and scammy things they don't want. So I would question if the things that you see in the highlight reels, if that is actual legitimate success, and if that is true success. Could also all be fake. After all, it's social media.
But so is everything that I just shared with you. Entrepreneurship will break you down and build you back up stronger. It will expose every weakness and force you to grow. It will isolate you and challenge every relationship you have. It will make you question everything that you thought you knew about yourself. But if you can survive this dark side, if you can push through the isolation and the pressure and the constant need to reinvent yourself, you will become a version of yourself you never knew was possible. So the question isn't whether you can handle success. The question is whether you can handle what it takes to get there and what it takes to actually keep it. You know the pros, you know the cons. Now it's up to you whether you want to become an entrepreneur or not.
Why did we listen to this inspirational crap of a 26-year-old who presents us with what she believes successful entrepreneurship looks like? You might be surprised because the choice is yours. This is like a soft call to action. She's actually trying to sell us something. Surprise, and we can also see that under her YouTube video. Everyone talks about becoming successful, but no one really prepares you for what it feels like when you get there. In this video, I'm sharing the real story behind a millionaire entrepreneur at 26, what I've experienced, what I've struggled with, and what people don't see. From loneliness and pressure to dating, family expectations, conversations, this journey has taught me more about myself than any business ever could. If you're a woman on your own path to financial freedom, I've made something that will help you. And then there's a link to her website. And what she tries to sell you there is the she is rich and recognized class. Yes, all of this boohoo, all of this nonsensical speech, all of this pretense, all of this blah blah, just to sell you on a course called She is Rich and Recognized. Fastest way to power, money, and freedom as a woman. Build a brand so influential people can't stop watching, following, and buying from you and paying you like the CEO you were born to be. And then, of course, on the website, we also need to have her rags to rich story, how she was able to come from Saudi Arabia, raised in a culture where women aren't taught to dream big. At 18, she came to Canada and everything changed. What she doesn't mention here is that everything changed because she joined a network marketing company and was able to lure a lot of people into this very predatory system. And then she's trying to sell you the course. There are multiple calls to actions on the website as well, so that you can make sure you can actually purchase this class, this course. I will tell you also the price for the course because it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, of course, worth it if you listen to allegedly a millionaire, 26 years old, an entrepreneur, because if she can do it, then you can do it. And if she has the route to success for you, then the price should totally be worth it. And of course, on the website, we also have to have the totally legitimate testimonials that tell you that they were successful, they were able to do it thanks to her courses, thanks to her classes. And here's the pricey crown jewel on the entrepreneurial crown that she wants to sell you. She's rich and recognized. Your brand should be your biggest asset, not your biggest block, for $1,599 one-time payment. No subscriptions, no hidden fees, lifetime access to strategy, structure, and support. Your brand is either making you money or costing you opportunities. This is your moment to build a brand that pays you forever. Are you sure about that? Another digital entrepreneur trying to sell us on crap for $1,599. And that is why we had to sit through all of this nonsensical, inspirational speech about how hard it is to be a 26-year-old millionaire. And she just wants to prepare you when you are successful, because it's not a question that you will be successful. With that course, with your hard work, you will be just as successful woman as she is. And then you're prepared because you already know what to expect. But you got to purchase the course first and spend $1,600, and then you're good to go. This is absolutely ridiculous, and there is an extension to that ridiculousness, and it will happen in one of the upcoming videos, so stay tuned, because there are more people joining this ridiculous party, and I'm excited to react to these videos. So thank you for pointing these out to me. Thank you for your content suggestions. Thank you for your support on this channel. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that you're here. If you liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss out on further uploads, and also the extension of this video. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, cheers!